Prop 187 basically banned kids that were undocumented from going to public schools. And I was out there marching. I didn't really know what it was. I was 7, 8 years old. I didn't know what that meant, but I was marching out there with my mom and my sister and my dad, and we're like, "Hey, F. Pete Wilson, blah blah blah." And growing up, I remember that something was wrong with my status. 17 years old, I apply to college. I get into UCLA, and UCLA sends me an out of state bill. And I was like, "What is this?" So I go to the admissions office. I say, "Hey, what is this out of state bill?" And they're like, "Oh, it's because you don't have a social security number." I was like, "What's a social security number?" I'm 17 years old, right? I didn't know what that meant. But at that point, I found out that I was not American, or so the government identified me as not American, even though English is my first language, even though I gave it my all. I've stayed away from any kind of police issues. Always been a good student. Always been good. But I realized that I was a Mexican or Mexican American. Some paperwork that I followed up with, I basically became a resident right away within 6 months. But at that point, I realized like, oh man, this is not my country. Or this country didn't allow me. This is the first time I felt that I was different. So I started focusing on what the problem was, which was to me was politics. As politicians were making laws that made me that identified me as somebody else, even though I felt I was American. I knew English. I went to public schools here my whole life and here in LA. So I started getting involved more in politics. Started realizing, okay, who's making these laws?